Hey guys, it's Tachi Gray, and today I'm bringing you some Neverwinter beta gameplay. I did do some checking, and only alpha testers are under an NDA. Beta can do whatever they want with the content they check it on the game. So I figured I'd put some gameplay up for you. Pretty straightforward mission. Gonna go rescue some warriors that are wounded and down.
Single enemy.
Got a magic missile going on.
Hover your reticule over objects and enemies to target them.
Okay, pretty straightforward.
Powers do stacks of arcane mastery. Each stack increases your arcane damage.
Excellent. I'm kind of curious as to if you notice I do 2 magic missiles every now and then. I have to do some experimentation to see if that's if that's actually doing more damage or what, or it's because I'm actually building stacks with that arcane mastery or what. So it takes about 3 hits to kill these guys in particular, and if you'll kind of notice, I'm unable to move when I'm casting it, so I'm kind of frozen in place.
Thanks.
So not very mobile here. And the reticle thing is pretty cool. It does a trick. If you notice, I kind of messed up there. I hit 1 extra magic missile and took out the guy and started hitting the guy behind him. So yeah, that could go bad. But it's kind of reminiscent here of DC Heroes Online. DC Universe Online, excuse me. These guys out. I'm doing this is a Tiefling Control Mage, by the way. So follow the little glimmer brick road here. So one of the things I noticed as I was going through this and the subsequent missions here is I'm like, but by the time I finish the mission, I'm still way behind where the area ends. So basically, I have to cruise through these extra rotters and whatnot. I think in other games I'm more used to kind of like by the time I finish a mission, I pretty much had to look everywhere I could and exhaust it before I could before I actually got to the end. So by the time I did get to the end, like the area that I was in, for the looking for this mission or looking for the mission, I would be done, as opposed to being done way before and then kind of having to just fight my way through for like no reason other than to get to the camp that I'm coming to. And here I'm thinking, well, it's D&D, you get XP for killing things, and it just wasn't the case. So I don't think I'm getting a single XP or anything for these extra guys I'm killing. And in fact, I'm not quite sure why they're even over here. There may not even be any wounded soldiers. But be that as it may, I've completed my mission, almost to my checkpoint. And the fires, when you stand by the fire for several seconds, it gives you a buff that lasts 15 minutes.
The guide displays everything you get for leveling up. It may also offer important quests.
Important quests. Good job. So pressing, basically, whenever you move the mouse, you're doing your mouse looking. You don't have to hold on any buttons or anything. So to access anything on the screen, you have to press the Alt key. Just press it and hold it down, and then you're in free mouse mode. And then I was able to click on what's new, etc., etc. So now I have this ray of frost power now that I've leveled up. I'm kind of looking through here where I get various powers, and I'm trying to work out where they're going to be going on my hot bars. And at this point I didn't quite understand what the positions of the hot bars meant, but at least I figured out a couple of them. They'll become apparent soon. But so basically, my left mouse is my magic missile, right mouse is the Ray of Frost, and if you double tap in any direction, that gives my movement thing, which is that teleport.
We were lucky to drive Valindra's forces back. Thank you for aiding the wounded. They wouldn't have survived much longer with all the undead roving about. I'll try to get medical supplies and reinforcements to Linklater as soon as possible. Unfortunately, we've got problems of our own here.
Okay, let's take the new mission.
I'm afraid I have a gruesome task for you. We've driven Valindra's main army off, but our Red Wizard allies are still harassing us with summoned undead. Private Hothedon is trying to drive them off with his archers, but they're short on ammo. Search the battlefield and scavenge some arrows from the dead, and then take them to Hothedon.
Okay, sounds easy enough. I actually can't remember any mission I've ever been on in any RPG or MMO that was requiring me to scavenge arrows. Here I'm kind of looking to change keybinds. I'm more used to powers that I have being like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and right now they have this kind of by default kind of falling around the QWERTY area. So the movement keys and whatnot, WASD. And I actually use a Razer Nostromo gamepad, so that's on my left hand, and so I'm basically going to also I've already switched some stuff up, I use the D-pad on the Nostromo to move, and it's kind of looking for what else I can switch around. When you first or look at the teleport power, for example, it says basically hold down shift and move. And that's what it looked like I had to do. Later on, I figured out that I can double tap my movement key to do that teleport. And the teleport actually is kind of important.
Ray of Frost to slow and freeze a foe.
Yeah, and
Cold Wave powers build stacks of chill on your target. The stack reduces the target's movement speed.
so that description of the beam of cold power, it just doesn't seem very effective. If you'll notice, when I hit these guys with the beam, Ray of Cold, whatever, it doesn't slow them down too much. And that's kind of, it's a movement impairment. It's supposed to. Here, watch. This guy's, okay, slightly slower, but let's see. Oh, we actually get some gold, so I have to run around and get that. But as you see, when I use that beam, it doesn't seem to really slow them down. Later on, you'll see I fight a boss, and it does seem to help a bit. Well, it doesn't seem, it does definitely help a bit. But these guys just seem to be moving as fast as they would be if I wasn't hitting with the Beam of Frost. So, and the thing is, again, when you cast the beam, you're frozen in place, so there's no mobility.
I will answer your questions if I can, but do not break my concentration.
What happened here?
Valindra had a Dracolich under her control when she attacked Neverwinter. It attacked ships in the harbor, and then came straight for the city. My friends and I were helping Sergeant Knox defend the walls when it attacked. There was a terrific battle, and we were able to defeat it.
What are you going to do now?
I don't know how Valindra got a Dracolich. Perhaps a deal with the cult of the dragon. The important thing is that we deprive her of it. When a Dracolich is killed, its spirit returns to a special phylactery. From there, it can possess the body of another dragon and be reborn. This Dracolich's spirit has not departed yet. I am trying to bind it here. If it cannot return to the phylactery, we may be able to destroy it and deprive Valindra of a powerful ally.
Good luck. Well, that's interesting. The thing is that I don't think that really did anything. I mean, why was that guy there? Because as far as I can tell, having completed this stage, if you will, I don't help at all with that whole dragon thing. So was that just lore, or is that going to come back in the future? Some kind of plot point I'll help with, or what? I don't know. So anyway, again, as I said before, it's like that the beam of frost, beam of cold, whatever, does not seem to really do a whole lot. I mean, it slows them down a little bit, I think, and it does do some decent damage. But I think if I just kept hitting with magic missile, they'd be dead at the exact same point when they got to me as when I was using the beam. So I'm not sure if it's usefulness. And again, you're frozen in place as you cast it. So I suppose I'm more used to in other games, and I know it's not a great thing to be comparing a game to another game because they are different entities. They're trying to accomplish different things and go about it different ways. But the fact remains that when you use one of these powers that slows them down, the idea is that you be able to get away from them and away from the damage they're going to bring. So at least make the beam of frost something I can cast on the move, and then I can back away as I'm slowing them down. And you see me trying to back away all over the place when I'm using it, just out of habit, and it's really not accomplishing anything because I have to stop casting it. And again, when I cast the magic missile, I have to stop also. It's not something you can cast on the run. So I'm kind of, just stuck. I'm going to be hit if I'm going to be hit.
Drive the wizards back. Thank you for the help. The red wizards haven't been driven away, but this will at least force them to keep their heads down.
Alright, level 3.
More undead are attacking Neverwinter. They're boiling out of Castle Never and storming the Sleeping Dragon Bridge. If the bridge falls, they will enter the heart of the city. Protector's Enclave. I must stay and deal with the red wizards. Please, go to the bridge and aid the defenders. Destroy the undead soldiers near the gate to our north so it may be opened safely. Then talk to Private Wilfred. He will get you inside the city and show you the way to the bridge.
Yep,
be careful, these undead are more aggressive than others you fought. Tempest grant you strength.
Cracked crystal orb, I'm just running with the hootie.
Cue to launch a chill strike, impaling and freezing an enemy with a shard of ice.
Okay, this is cool. And again, I think I'm going to be changing that up too. This is me changing the key binding of that. So I have left click for my magic missile, right click for the beam of frost, and I'm going to set this, I think, to 1. Just, again, for habit's sake. And because I'm using Nostromo, I might as well. I suppose I could reprogram the Nostromo, but why? When I can just change keybinds. So this is pretty good power here. Check this out. Takes a second to cast, but it's an insta kill on these guys. And again, I don't know why I was using the Ray of Frost there. It's not like it was slowing them down from getting to me. Yeah, that was nice. So it looks like it's a 10-second 10-second refresh on that power. So it's not something you can use all over the place, but it's a nice opener if you have a big group that's coming towards you. Pare them down a little bit. Okay, so this guy's coming. And here's another one of those where I didn't actually mean to do that, but I just kept hitting the button after the one guy died, and the reticle just happened to be completely, perfectly over the other guy behind him.
Hello again. You're looking a good deal fiercer than when you washed up on the beach. Told you drying out by the fire.
This guy actually was the first NPC I met when I started the game. I kind of just put that original very beginning card out as I started
we
this
should
clip.
be able to slip through the gate safely. Linklater gave me some healing potions for you. You may need them on the bridge.
Thanks. Let's hurry.
Left click on a visible location to
Okay,
travel
so
to.
basically we're in a different zone. Okay, clicking on the Sleeping Dragon Bridge. Yes, I would like to travel.
They're in trouble. We must go to their aid!
Agreed. Let's bust some heads. Skulls or whatever. Okay, and here I was just checking to make sure I had access to my potions. And it's actually the 3 button. Again, I suppose they really did build their keybind set around, you know, the movement keys, which is okay.
Tap any direction to teleport away from
Here's
enemy
where
attacks.
teleport's gonna come in handy. This and the boss fight coming up in a little bit. So here I'm kind of practicing. Now I realize I can double tap. You cannot teleport when your stamina is low. I didn't notice that before when I was actually running through it. So you're kind of screwed if you aren't if your stamina's up. And it's that little basically it's that little gold chevron right above what looks like a 20-sider.
Look out! Archer!
So basically you can't go zooming all over the place. Okay, get out of that red space. There you go. Okay, so it's nice to have a companion, which apparently you get
They just
here.
keep coming!
Oop. In this game you do have companions that you can level up and equip and even trade apparently. Very interesting. Alright, so again, this is tough. It might just be the class, but it's just not very good up against groups. There's not a whole lot I can do. I can do the one, that ice shard power, but that's a 10-second cooldown and it's not an instant cast. So I can use the beam of frost on these guys, but then their buddies come at me, and it really doesn't slow them down very much at all. Otherwise, the best I can do is just hit them as fast as possible, and yeah, still the guys are coming at me. So I'm taking some damage here. Not a lot. Let's avoid the red thing, red verticals. Alright, so this guy is group of 3. Pick up the 1 again with the ice shard. Now, if you totally max out on how much damage you're doing to him with that beam of frost, you can actually see him like kind of freeze over. And later when I do the boss fight, you're going to see it be a little more effective. But sticking these guys out with basic stuff. Well, that ice shard thing. One person insta-kill is alright for an opening. Yeah, here I am just trying to reflexively back away. Use the beam to slow him down and in theory save me, but it's just not effective at, maneuvering away from these guys and not getting hit. No. That's basically me using one of my attack keys when there isn't a target. Like basically I'm still holding down the left mouse or right mouse or whatever after they're already dead. I don't have anything under my reticle.
What in the 9 hells is that?
That is a Deathlock White. Kill it. Stop asking me questions. Let's get off that red stuff. There you go. Alright, so teleport is pretty darn useful for moving there. Okay. And I'm building up stacks of arcane on that guy. Slowly. Oop. 2 left, 3.
Press 1 to use Ice Storm, disabling and damaging your
Okay,
enemy.
so here's a new type of powers. You notice how on the left and the right side of that 20-sider that's now glowing? Basically, I was hesitating there because I was kind of figuring out I wanted to also do my keybind for it.
Points are full.
But basically, I had no idea what the heck it is. So, okay. So you see the die there and how it's glowing orange right now. Well, basically, as a mage at least, I don't know about the other classes, but as a mage, I filled that up by doing damage. I'm sure pretty much everyone else except maybe the clerics do. The cleric might have to heal or something, I don't know. But basically, you fill up that die, and when it's full, you can use one of those powers on the left or the right. I'm assuming that's how it works. Definitely that's how it works on the left. Judging by the position, the one on the right, it's the same thing. So basically, those powers are basically requiring me to have that thing filled up before I can use it, and they're larger powers. And you'll see in a few seconds after I figure this out here, I waste the very first one. Well, I'm not sure if I actually do it right now, but I waste it. It was pretty sad. I didn't quite understand what it was. I didn't take time to mouse over it. But let's continue on. Hopefully I'll remember to grab that gold right there. Okay, here, I was thinking of mouse over it. Oh, might as well. Okay, check things around. Come on, let's get the gold. Get the gold! Oop. And there's a potion also. Alright, dead soldiers again. Same old routine, take out the ice shard. Use that beam of frost for whatever reason. And we're coming up on a boss fight. We're going to make it! Yeah, okay, here's me wasting the one. So it's basically a point blank area of effect thing. That one charge up power there. Or ice storm, I believe it is. So that was completely wasted, but as you can see, now that I'm have one of these powers, you see the die charging up as I'm doing damage. And it does fill pretty quickly. Here's a kind of cool thing. You see the little arcs that these guys are basically threatening to do damage in. So that's neat. It keeps you wanting to be mobile, using the teleport, etc. Even though, you know, your powers make you not mobile at all. This guy had to rush in real quick and gets decimated for his problems there. Alright, so this big guy. First boss of the game, or close to a boss as we can get here on a solo. Okay, so take these guys out. At first I was wondering if I was going to be aggroing him right away when I took out these 3 guys in front of him. That was not the case, thankfully. Give me a few seconds at least to, you know, get those out of the way and figure out what I'm doing to him. Okay, so here's where the Beam of Frost actually does something. He slows down. You'll see how when I hold it long enough, he actually freezes down and he's immobile. And that doesn't hold very long as I do some damage to him, which is what the description said, basically. You know, you do some degree of damage. Maybe at some point there will be some kind of ability or something that lets me do more damage, but it was a pretty pathetic amount of damage. So I think it's like the first, oops, there I used my charge power, the Ice Storm. So hopefully there'll be something where, you know, I can do more damage than like, literally, look at it, was one magic missile. One low-level magic missile broke that. So again, this is useful in rooting him, at least for a second, so now I can move back. Alright, this is more what I'm used to. I'm still taking damage, and I'm just backing up, and now I'm realizing that I'm right right in front of a barricade, so moving back is not as doable, but he's dead, so I timed it just right.
Gain a scroll of identification.
Got a scroll of identification.
Right-click an unidentified object and select Identify. Use the scroll and reveal the item.
Yeah, so now as a magic user, I thought maybe I would be able to do this. There's actually an ability, a natural ability that I have. I think it's like Arcane, and I don't understand what the heck it means. It basically says something to the effect of can interact with magic items and get them for selling, which I'm assuming everyone can. So whatever. Figure that out sooner or later. So here I switched up. It's not a huge boost, but it's boost. A couple 2 points defense. Alright. Moving on up. And this clip is about to end. As soon as I basically get up here, I'll be going through a little portal, and that'll take me to the next area. After I talk to this guy. Ooh. I thought that was a chest right there.
Sorry. Should have been more
Yes,
cautious.
you should have.
But when I thought of all my friends who died because of her, find Sergeant Knox. Tell him what happened. Ask him to check on my mother from time to time.
Hang on, Private. I'll get help.
You have to stop her. Lord Neverember is no saint, but he's better than the alternative. If Neverember fails here, Valindra will rule Neverwinter. Find Sergeant Knox. He's one of Neverember's guards. One of the good ones. You must stop Valindra.
I'm sorry, Wilfred. And he dies somewhat dramatically. Alright, now I'm automatically zoning. So, hope you enjoyed this clip. It's again kind of neat beta footage of Neverwinter. If you liked it, please do leave a like. If you've seen my other stuff, you like what you see, think of subscribing, and I hope you have a great day. Take care.